What up, everyone? Thank you for joining me here at Prison Culture. Today, what I want to talk about is the possible release of people who are currently incarcerated from prisons due to the coronavirus. Now, to this point, there has been people released throughout the country in different states. Mostly the line has been drawn with people who have nonviolent offenses who are coming home soon, and then people who are older and at risk, whether they have lung issues or heart issues. So really what I would love is your opinion on the matter, because I'm here to provide some perspective. That's my goal, but I'm also here to learn. I'm always here to learn. So please put some comments below and let's continue the conversation. I will answer your comments. The first thing I want to talk about, being that the division is largely with violent and nonviolent crimes, I want to touch on this a little bit. So from where I'm sitting, I see a lot of people out here, meaning not incarcerated, their view of people who have violent crimes are largely people who committed murder or rape. So it's a very negative, and I'm not trying to say anything violent offense was positive, but it's a very far pendulum swinging negative view as far as rape and murder. So just to provide a little bit of perspective, a violent crime can be something as a drunk college kid at a bar getting into a fight, the cops being called, and aggravated assault being the charge that sticks. That could be 10 years in the state of New Jersey. So that's not to excuse anyone's actions. That's simply just to fill you in that a violent crime is not necessarily a rapist or a murderer. Those are actually in the minority of people who are in prison for violent crime. Aggravated assault is much more prevalent. So with that being said, I want to bring you to, once you're inside, Department of Corrections exists, from my understanding, with the primary goal of not letting you escape, right? Keeping you inside prison once you're there. That's where, in the eyes of the state and the federal government, that's where you're supposed to be. But two, ironically enough, is to keep you safe. And now I say ironically because when you're inside, this isn't really the vibe you get from the guards. And I don't know what your perception is out here of what it's supposed to be like in prison. I know a lot of people think it's a violent place, and I'm not here to go against that. But it is actually safety. So for example, that's why there's no sharp objects allowed in there, metal or glass. That's why if you get into a fight, even with someone else who's inside, that's not a guard, you get into a fight, you go to lockup, you go to prison inside of prison. If you try to commit suicide, or they think you're going to try to commit suicide, they put you in a suicide room where there's hardly anything in it, so you can't harm yourself. And also, if you're scared for your life, which this is not, I was never in this position, I would never do this, I wouldn't recommend this, but you are supposed to be able to go to the officer that's working, let him know you're in fear for your life, and they're supposed to move you to a protective custody unit, or to put you in lockup, or remove you from the general population so you're not in fear and you don't get hurt. So safety is at the forefront of the Department of Corrections and what they do and their mission as far as treating people who are incarcerated. So for me, safety is where my thoughts lie and where I think the narrative needs to be at the forefront in terms of releasing people or taking care of people who are currently incarcerated in this time when Corona is running rampant. So I believe that violent or non-violent shouldn't matter. I think you should be able to be safe inside prison from a virus, right? And right now, people inside, once it gets in there, they're forced to be exposed to this virus. A lot of people are gonna die. So I don't have a perfect solution to what should happen as far as people being released from prison, but I do think that the narrative of safety is a human right. And it's recognized by the Department of Corrections, recognized by our system, that you do have that human right of the ability to be safe. And that doesn't exist right now. People do not have the ability right now to be safe while they're incarcerated due to the coronavirus. So, like I said, you guys are entitled to your own opinion. I don't have a perfect solution. Safety should be at the forefront. People inside, unless you got a death sentence, you were given a sentence, a number of years that is supposed to equate to, in theory, the crime you committed, and that's your punishment. None of that includes dying. So thank you guys very much for joining me. That's all I got today. We got some more episodes coming up. I would love for you to leave comments, like I said, and continue the conversation. Feel free to subscribe, like the video, and thank you very much for tuning in.